Hello folks, welcome to another edition of Blinkers Off. Thanks for being with us tonight. Chris Barsby joins me at the desk. How are you, Chris?
Very well, thanks, David.
Congratulations, Joseph Calder Award, Best Radio Show to Air Mobile Rolling on Radio TAB. You've carried the tradition on well since I've left.
No, it's a great honour to win such an award.
Good job. Great night at the Coast on Saturday night, of course, smoking up. Mr. Feelgood with Sharky. They're all clashing again this Saturday night at Albion Park. We'll talk more about that later. Warwick Stansfield's our special guest tonight. We'll get some views of how harness racing is going from those who attended the Gold Coast on Friday night. But first up, a race, a grandstand or a statue, they're just a few options to ponder on what can be done to perpetuate the memory of the champion pacer, Blakes of Fate. There are no ifs, no buts, no maybes on this case. Something must be done and done soon. Blakes of Fate is the greatest standardbred to be produced in Queensland. Some might say Australia, some might even extend that thought to outside our country's borders. Australia's richest pacer and the winner of 4 Inter-Dominions plus a swag of feature races. A feat never, and repeat never, to be repeated. He was Queensland harness racing's finest ambassador since he made his first journey interstate in 2006 until his retirement in July this year. And the fact that he was owned, bred and trained in Queensland is further grist for the mill. But whatever option is taken, it must be one of great presence. Anything less would not be befitting of this champion. Racing Queensland and the Albion Park Harness Racing Club must work on this project together. It's a common cause and they'll earn plaudits for their endeavours. But one would really hope that both bodies have already considered such a project and not forgotten Blackie's wonderful deeds. But I suppose in this day and age we do forget sometimes. Maybe our Winter Cup could be called the Blakes of Fate Cup. Here at Blinkers Off, we're interested in your thoughts. Email us at blinkersoff@31.com.au. Do you believe in that? We need to...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's start some news. Luke McCarthy and some good news to start with.
Yeah, Luke McCarthy, along with his wife Belinda, they finally had their baby, and it was a baby girl produced early hours Sunday morning. So congratulations to both Luke and Belinda. Mum and Bub are doing very well.
And name TBC, to be confirmed.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. What about Egmont Park and some not so good news here?
Now, this is disturbing news, but they're going to be putting up the for sale sign at Egmont Park. A gradual decline in numbers. But more so, just no schemes to help the studs, the bigger studs. And this is probably the biggest stud in Queensland. It's a household name as far as harness racing is concerned. It's not going to be an overnight process, but I did speak with Paul Burns, one of the directors of Egmont Park, and he said it will happen.
Disappointing. Let's talk about some horses. Courageous Annie.
Back in work, but probably a story about Courageous Annie. Dean Shannon, along with Daryl Graham, did contemplate having an embryo transfer done with this mare, but they've decided to shelve those plans. Just too much rejigging as far as her program is concerned. So she's in work, and they'll probably wait till next season if they do go ahead with that plan. Speaking
of Daryl Graham, Daryl and Linda's daughter Brittany turned 16 today. She's my girl Friday Nips, which looks after me every week. So Brittany, a very, very happy birthday. Happy 16th birthday. Caesar's Folly's a good horse. He's back in work, I believe.
He's back in work for Shannon Price and Scott Miller. They've got most of their stars back in work now. Terror Time's back in work. Their very good filly American Promise is also back in work. So Caesar's Folly completes their star trio to be back in work. So we look forward to seeing him as a 4-year-old.
Another nice horse, Wicked Style.
Wicked Style is only probably weeks away from a trial. Sean Grimsey very happy with him. He did a very good job in his first season, chasing home the likes of Western Mail. So we look forward to his return.
From the Vicky Rasmussen stable?
They've got a new one from New Zealand. Passion and Fella is the horse. He comes here with fairly good credentials. He wasn't a cheap purchase, just on that stable. Presidential Lane, who was a place getter in the Queensland and New South Wales Derby, has been retired. Just niggling problems that he couldn't overcome, so he's been retired.
We've been following the path of I'm the Mighty Quinn.
I'm the Mighty Quinn trialled yesterday again at Byford, so all is set to go. Just whilst we're in Perth, Ross Oliveri was disqualified for 12 months. He will be appealing that decision, and that was effective immediately, that decision.
We wrap up some news with some snippets from Kiwiland.
Yeah, just today from the trials. Liz again, the recent import for the Butts. He was back at the trials today, and Icon Doozit, the Inter-Dominion trotting champion, he was also at the trial. That was his second trial back today.
Good on you, Chris. Stay with us. We're going to our first break on Blinkers Off. Back with more in just a moment. Welcome back to the program. Recently we profiled Redcliffe's president Kerry Ebbett. I had the chance last week to catch up with the chairman of the Albion Park Harness Racing Club, Warwick Stansfield. Warwick, thanks for your time. In the 4 years you've been chairman, you've witnessed the EI crisis, where we didn't race for 3 months.
Yep.
The Russell's grandstand was condemned. We've had the global financial crisis. And we've had 2 changes of really control of Queensland harness racing, where Albion Park has been in the midst of it on both occasions. But it seems to me, the tougher the task, the steelier your resolve becomes. You don't run away from a fight.
Well, I think more importantly, David, it's if you put yourself forward to and accept those positions to go into, then be prepared to follow through with it. It's been pretty awkward sort of times. There's no question about that. I'm not sure how many other challenges from left field are going to surprise us, but and you can't do it by yourself. That's the first thing you have to recognise. The committee beside me throughout all those years have been very, very good. And the working relationship that we had with the former control body was very, very close and very, very tight as well. So you don't do it all by yourself.
People often ask, how does an association start with harness racing? With you, it actually goes back to, I think, Inter Dominion time here, 2001.
2001, I was working in the car industry and saw an opportunity, I guess, to be a little bit a part of what looked like a very, very good promotion. Back in 2001, I think it was, and I was working in Newstead, which is not far from the Albion Park complex, and so we supplied some cars for the race series, and of course it was a tremendous series, and I think from memory, Ulster was the victor.
You became a member, and I think you came onto the committee in 2006. So it was a very swift turnaround from being on the committee and then being appointed chairman. And as we just outlined, there's been a number of major events happening in your past 4 years.
Yeah.
You're not a song and dance man. You're a man who goes about your business quietly, and you obviously believe that the softly approach can work in resolving problems.
Look, I've never been a strong front person, by admission, sort of thing. I think I admire people such as yourself that are able to get out in front of people and put the message there forward. But I certainly I believe in ticking all the boxes before we get into those positions. So it's just something that I enjoy doing, and hopefully we do it right, for the benefit of for the industry itself.
You've just come back from Harness Racing Australia's national conference.
Yep.
Albion Park, the Albion Park Harness Racing Club, is known as a principal club and has voting rights in all matters that Harness Racing Australia deals with. Yet at the same time, now this is my observation of the matters, we've seen Albion Park's power eroded bit by bit over the last 3 or 4 years, basically in your term. Now, is that something that doesn't sit well with you, that on one hand we've got this principal club status, but on the other hand we're having less and less of a say locally?
Yeah, very much so. Less and less of a say locally is a critical thing for us. We and through the committee and the members, obviously we've had a long and close association with harness racing here in Queensland, and we believe that we still have a lot to offer, and unfortunately I don't think enough of what we have to offer is being heard or sourced.
So you believe, obviously, by that there's an important role for a club to play in the whole mix, as well as a controlling body, and maybe there should be the separation of power, so to speak.
Yeah, very much so. The club does have an integral part to play. The club is essentially the first introduction of anybody to the industry, and so that's an area that we need to continually look at and develop. First point of contact in the industry through the club.
Look, litigation aside, everyone knows that's happening at the moment. It's been tough for Albion Park since June 2008. As I mentioned, the Russell's grandstand was condemned and we don't have it anymore, so we have to now rely on lesser facilities.
Yeah.
Makes it harder to entice people or groups to come to the races, but you still believe the potential's there to get a good crowd on a Saturday night?
Oh, very much so. We are dealing, as you know, with substandard, I guess, facilities or catering functions to cater for functions. The initial premise that we all thought going forward with the Albion Park being retained as a long-term home of harness racing, also involved a commitment to a certain monetary value for a new grandstand. And we had plans, as you know, put in place for that, and we believed that that was going to be quite a successful venture and a profitable venture, and the club itself was prepared to look at putting in financially into that as an investment package, not only for the industry, but also a financial investment package for the club. We have to look at ways of raising revenue streams outside of the industry, and we have to get new people to the industry. It's too often we look at within to source funding and things to try and promote the industry. We need those funds to come from outside the industry.
But one point I'll take out of that, you talk about finding people outside of the industry, but the club does understand the need to look after the industry itself, the licensees. The club's implemented some prize money increases for metropolitan racing over October, November, December. That seems to have been well received.
Yeah, well, the feedback at this stage is very good, David. As you know, we don't have control over the industry. We certainly have some input into the industry, and this is a way that we can also help the industry as we sort of as we work towards a solution going forward that we're all happy with.
You have to move with the times, and I know you've embraced the idea that this club start to get involved with social media such as Facebook and Twitter. It's not my scene, but I've got to say, there's no point arguing with it. It's happening, and it's happening big.
Very much so, and I would be the first to admit that I'm probably on the edge a little bit there too. But as you know, when we appointed our new general manager, he was a fair bit younger than probably previous managers that were in a fairly significant role in the club. But part of that, the idea of that was to be able to identify with new markets and move quickly enough into those areas. So more power to our general manager Nathan for getting those thought processes across to us. He has to sell to us, as you know, and the Facebook and the Twitter and obviously an up-to-date website, a fairly simple means of viral communication.
And leading out of that too, the opportunity is here for groups, whether they're social clubs or business groups, to have a night at Albion Park in the function room, which we're presently sitting in. And there's one thing that remains to me constant. It's a good night out at the Trots, to put it that way, regardless of how great or not so great the facility is.
Yeah, very much so. It's all about being with your friends and sharing a good experience. We provide the entertainment, and then the rest of it is the people involved. And we're looking at ways of being much more flexible in those packages, whereas before we certainly catered for fairly large groups and I'll say probably corporate level activity. We're looking at ways of catering for small groups of people and certainly at a financial package that will suit most people.
In closing, I mentioned at the start that you've been through more crises than you care to imagine in 4 years. You're probably, or your club is facing its strongest one, its sternest one at the moment. Warwick Stansfield's not running away?
We believe in what we're doing. To run away would be wrong. We all have values that are instilled in us, and I guess from our parents all the way through, and I don't think that my parents would be doing anything any different if they were in my shoes today. So.
Yes, Warwick Stansfield there, spoke with him last week. We had a very robust conversation yesterday on radio with John Dummersey about the Inter-Dominion, the revamped Inter-Dominion in 2013 to 2015. We'll be talking more about that in the shows to come. We might even get John Dummersey up here. Well,
he's very keen to be on the program. He made that abundantly clear yesterday on that radio program, so fingers crossed he will make the trip north.
Hope he does. Let's take a break, then we're back to look at all things Gold Coast from Saturday night. Welcome back to the program. Big night at the Gold Coast Saturday night, Kevin and Kay Seymour Cup and the Darren Alexander Trotters Invitational, Trotters Memorial. Long distance race, big field, was very exciting from start to finish. Let's pick up the action right from the word go in the Darren Alexander.
The Dr. Rocks began well from the inside and then rolled out of it.
So the Boy Wonder's going to pounce on the early lead. Gladys Emmanuel made a good beginning, and so too Flying Hardwick. He's up nice and handy as they work into the first bend. Gladys Emmanuel leads the way. The margin is 3 metres. Sitting Park without cover. Chewy Marta Glass. Sunny Sulibop continues to make ground 3 wide. The Boy Wonder on the leader's back. Flying Hardwick 1-1. Miss Adelaide the inside. Then Undamai tracking it forward, whatever you like. Then Jazz Legend and King Galleon. First quarter of the last mile in 31.4. They get the judge in the bell. 1 circuit left to run in the Darrell Alexander Memorial Trot Final, and Gladys Emmanuel leads the way by a neck. Sunny Sulibop is without cover. The Boy Wonder enjoying a lovely trail. Third on the inside, Chewy Marta Glass has 1-1 cover. Miss Adelaide the inside, then Flying Hardwick, Undamai, whatever you like, Jazz Legend and King Galleon whip them in. By the 800 metre marker, second quarter in 31.7. Gladys Emmanuel well rated, leading 3 metres. Sunny Sulibop on the outside is second. He's close enough if good enough. The Boy Wonder lying third. Easing 3 wide, Flying Hardwick. Chewy Marta Glass stayed in. He's locked away in between runners. Miss Adelaide the inside, then Undamai. There goes Jazz Legend starting a wide run. King Galleon tracking up behind him. And then whatever you like. They are tight and compact. 400 metres left to run. Back straight quarter. It was posted in 32 seconds. Gladys Emmanuel still leading 3 metres. Sunny Sulibop called on. Wider on the track was Jazz Legend. He continues to make ground, Jazz Legend. Tracking him forward now, Undamai. King Galleon is right off the track. They're about to straighten. 200 metres left to run. Little Jazz Legend on the outside reaches the lead. Undamai is giving chase, however. It's Jazz Legend, Undamai. They come away. Undamai draws alongside of Jazz Legend, who's in for the fight. It's Jazz Legend, Undamai. Jazz Legend, Undamai. I think Undamai knows. I think Undamai knows from Jazz Legend. Tight third, whatever you like, or King Galleon. Nearer the inside was Miss Adelaide. Then Chewy Marta Glass, Sunny Sulibop, Flying Hardwick, Gladys Emmanuel knocking up. Then the Boy Wonder. Joined now by Grant Dixon, successful in the Darrell Alexander Memorial Trot Final with Undamai. It was a close finish. In your honest opinion, did you think you'd done enough on the line?
I thought she did, Chris, and I was I listened to your call too as we hit the line, and I thought you called her, and I had my fingers crossed because she's had a little bit of trouble getting over the line first lately.
The runner-up, Jazz Legend, he's only small in size, but he was brave tonight. He made a good race of it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he has run the race for sure. I had a bit of luck on my side and did no work, which she needs to do, but finally we sort of crack one with her.
It's a good point you make about Undamai. Since coming north, she's been very consistent. She's won her fair share of races, but as you outlined, just lately, just struggling to find the line. But tonight, she was able to get there, and probably in a very important race too. Yeah,
it was great. Win the Darrell Alexander Memorial. Darrell was a great driver and a great competitor, and it was a great thrill to actually win the race.
She'd raced well during the series. Did you do anything different leading up to tonight's final with her?
Oh, through the week we sort of used a gallop and pacemaker with her, and Trista does all her homework with her, and she sort of dashed her past it and sort of built her confidence up a bit, and I think it was the difference tonight. So
we've got to give special mention to Trista. She was the key to the success tonight.
Yeah, ever since she's sort of been working her at home all the time, she used to be a fairly hard pulling trotter, and it was sort of probably half a problem. And she's since Trista's been working her, she's been a lot more settled, and I think it's been the difference.
Raced by Scotty Steele, known to many in the industry, Scotty. He's enjoying some good success. He's had some good feature race wins in the past 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, he's a good mate of mine, Steely, and it's a shame he wasn't here to watch her win, but he's been sort of, for a long time, he never had much luck, but, hopefully things have turned around for him.
Where was he tonight? On another jaunt somewhere?
No, I think he was making an appearance and at work, a rare one, but he was there, I think.
And he loves a trotter, doesn't he?
He talks him up a bit, so yeah, I'm sure as soon as this one's hit a mark, he'll be looking for another one.
Immediate plans for her future? Anything in particular, anything special coming up?
No, we'll just keep her sort of chipping away in the trotting races here and work with her. She's not sort of good enough to go travel away with or anything like that.
Well, you're happy with the big result tonight. Congratulations, job well done.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, good to see the boys winning with Undamai. Darrell Alexander passed away early in 2005. Time goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. He was a champion trainer-driver, but more importantly, he was a champion bloke. He's gone, but certainly not forgotten.
Certainly not. Let's go to the big one, the Kevin and Kay Seymour Cup Group 2 level, Smoking Up versus Mr. Feelgood and Washaki. Here's the action.
They're away. Washaki flies out. Smoking Up runs the gate hard with Washaki. They're 1-2 into the first turn. Atomic Arc will land third. Destrayos is fourth. Easing back from a wide gate was Be Good Johnny. Slipping through on the inside was Vinny Boy, then Funny Boy. Next in the moving line, Mr. Feelgood, then He's a Buzzin'. Be Diligent taken off the arm. He's second last. And Be Good Johnny, the dual Miracle Mile champion, drops out to the tail. Washaki on the front end. Leads the way by 3 metres. Smoking Up, the favourite is Without Cover sitting second. Leaders back third, Atomic Arc, 1 by 1 Destrayos. Vinny Boy is fifth, 3 back on the inside. He's covered up by Funny Boy. Then Mr. Feelgood, He's a Buzzin', Be Diligent, and Be Good Johnny. They work up towards the back bend, 1,400 metres left to run. The lead time, 35 seconds, and Washaki is controlling the tempo. He leads the way by a long neck. Smoking Up is nice and handy on the outside. He's forced to breeze in that roll. Leaders back third, Atomic Arc, 1 by 1 Destrayos. The inside was Vinny Boy, then Funny Boy. Mr. Feelgood's the first to make a move. He's on a forward march, 3 wide by the 1,200 metre marker. He's a buzzing straight onto his back, then Be Diligent, and at the tail was Be Good Johnny, the first quarter of the last mile. 30.5 by the judge in the bell. 1,000 metres left to run. Washaki now being eyeballed by Smoking Up. He draws level with the Washaki and pours the pressure on, and Mr. Feelgood is now making a line of 3, and we're going to have a change up front because Smoking Up is about to take control. Smoking Up runs clear by the 750. Mr. Feelgood parking without cover. Washaki is taking a sit. He's now third on the inside. Left exposed, 3 deep was He's a Buzzin'. In between runners, Destrayos, Atomic Arc now 3 back on the inside. Be Diligent tracking up 3 wide. Then Funny Boy, Be Good Johnny. Vinny Boy last on the inside. That second quarter, 29.7. Smoking Up has it by a head. Mr. Feelgood strides with him on the outside by the 400 metre marker. Back straight quarter, only 29.5. Mr. Feelgood poked the head in front. Smoking Up, not yet done with. Lance Justice yet to call on the champ. Going up 3 wide, He's a Buzzin' with Sharky looking for a way clear on the inside. And then Destrayos, they're into the home straight. Mr. Feelgood, Smoking Up locked in a battle with Sharky back to the inside. Wider, He's a Buzzin'. Smoking Up is lifting. Mr. Feelgood driving. Smoking Up, up and away. Smoking Up too good. Beat Mr. Feelgood with Sharky. He's a buzzin'. Next over the line, Destrayos, Be Diligent, Funny Boy, Atomic Arc, Vinny Boy, and Be Good Johnny. About to catch up with Peter Gadsby. Peter, a terrific win by your champion pacer, Smoking Up in tonight's Gold Coast Cup. Firstly, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It was a nice win.
Came as no surprise. He was heavily favoured to take out tonight's race. The way the race unfolded, tell me, what were you thinking during the running of the event?
Oh, I was probably fine until about the 400 near the home turn, this sort of stuff, when Mr. Feelgood worked up on the outside. But you can always tell how Smoking Up was going by the way Lance reacts, and he didn't move, so I knew he had a bit left.
And once he straightens and he's got that clean run in front of him, you know he's going to pin the ears back and keep going.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to stop this horse.
He's been a terrific horse, coming up to Queensland, taking on these Queensland champions on their home soil. It's never an easy task, so to do it first up, knowing there's a little bit more improvement, must be very satisfying.
Oh, it's always good to win first up. Actually, I think it's his first win in Queensland, so that's one for the mantelpiece. But yeah, you've got McCarthy's with 3 in the race and so forth, and they're all top-grade horses, so you can't afford to give them any leeway.
I suppose the pressure keeps building. That's 10 straight victories now. The last time he tasted defeat was back in January, so the more they win, the more pressure that keeps gaining. So it's never easy, and especially when you're at this elite level.
No, at the elite level it's very difficult. Barrier draws are everything. Obviously 10 in a row now, well, you're obviously closer to a loss. I suppose the bookies will take it that way one day.
Opening leg of the Grand Circuit next Saturday night at Albion Park. We touched on it. How much more improvement is there to come with your guy?
Well, from what Lance said tonight, he was a little bit concerned tonight that he was underdone. He had a long trip up from Queensland and he'd missed a bit of work. Lance would have liked to have given him one more very solid hit out before tonight's race. So he said, look, tonight I'll top him up and he'll be scary next week.
So at this point in time, it's a happy camp.
Well, at this point, we haven't seen the barrier draw yet.
Just on you personally, Queensland's always been a happy hunting ground for you. You've had shares in some great racehorses, Double Identity, Smoking Up. So to win another Grand Circuit race next week, it's still going to be a massive thrill.
Oh, look, I love the place. Yeah, the people up here have always been terrific to us. Kevin and Kay Seymour, the sponsors of tonight's race, they've always been out of their way to help us. And I haven't met half the new committee now at Albion Park, which will be nice to do next Saturday night. And catch up with your old boss, David Fowler, as well. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week.
And I suppose after next week, you'll make a firm decision about the New Zealand Cup?
Yeah, we have to, as I've said, and all the syndicate members have said from day one, regardless of what the press have been writing, we have to have a result from the Inter-Dominion. And, we're reasonably confident we put up a very, very good case. But come Tuesday, that's 2 weeks now that the committee's had it for their final decision, so we thought it'd be through by now. But we know that if had that charge been placed against him here in Australia, on 3 or 4 counts, it probably would have been dismissed. But of course, we're in a different jurisdiction over there, and we've got to play by their rules. So at the moment, we're just all waiting.
Well, interesting times, but for the meantime, happy times. Congratulations for tonight's success.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, the return bout on the Garrard's Queensland Championship, Albion Park this Saturday night, a must-see, and it was good that the finish was so close because the return clash, I'm sure, will be great again.
Oh, no doubt about that. Barrier draw is going to be important. I don't think it's crucial, but I think it's certainly going to be important.
Thanks for your time today, Chris.
Thanks, David.
And folks, thanks for your time as well for another edition of Blinkers Off. Don't forget, we'll be with you again next Monday night, but get to Albion Park Saturday night, Grand Circuit Racing, Garrard's Queensland Championship. Until next Monday night, good night for now.